This is genuinely insane as we have a new report and rumor regarding the Miami Heat in a blockbuster trade. As we know, the Miami Heat are looking to upgrade their roster by any means possible. And now, with one of the biggest players in the NBA on the trade block, there has been a ton of discussion surrounding him and the Miami Heat. And as you know from the thumbnail, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we are going to discuss all of this, the new report regarding Giannis and the Heat, and much more, and how everything is implicated through this. But guys, before we do that, if you're part of that 79% that's not subscribed to Heat Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily Miami Heat updates. We got a lot of great videos for you that you do not want to miss out on. And on top of that, with the NBA season coming up very fast, there's going to be so much news coming out in the next couple of weeks. So make sure to be subscribed with those post notifications on, and let's talk some Miami Heat basketball. Because we know that Pat Riley is trying to upgrade this Miami Heat roster. Right now, it's really not a roster with that number one option. And with that in mind, it definitely is going to be the situation where it's kind of just biding time before an eventual trade. We know that Andrew Wiggins is a good trade piece to use. We know that Terry Rozier is a good trade piece to use for their contracts and for the fact that both of them are coming to an end. Specifically, how Rozier has that sort of $26 million contract that you could sort of just cut the money on once the year's over, once he does become an unrestricted free agent, which for a team that would be rebuilding like the Bucks if they traded Giannis, this does make a ton of sense for them to go out there and do this. Now, obviously, with this situation in mind, and when it comes down to Giannis, he is one of the best players in the NBA, so things are going to be difficult to pull this off. But in this new report, a new trade has been pitched where the Miami Heat would be receiving Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis in exchange for Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Terry Rozier, a 2030 first-round pick, a 2032 first-round pick, and a 2031 first-round pick swap. Obviously, it is a ton for Giannis, but this is also a very, very, very realistic package, if you ask me. Usually, a lot of these trade packages are not great. This makes sense. This is around the price of Giannis Antetokounmpo because at the end of the day, the Heat receive a young all-star in Tyler Hero, who's actually from the Milwaukee area, Kel'el Ware, who's a young up-and-coming star, Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's a nice young player as well, looking to bounce back, Terry Rozier, who's an expiring contract, 2 unprotected first-round picks, and a pick swap is around what we would see Giannis go for in any sort of situation or trade. And Bleacher Report did discuss this as well, breaking the situation down, saying that after keeping Kel'el Ware out of the Kevin Durant trade talks, the Heat would clearly need a superstar to let their second-year center go. Since they also have a clear and long-standing fascination with Antetokounmpo, which, to be fair, most teams do, it might take a mega trade with Milwaukee to get Ware out of Miami. Is that overrating Ware? Maybe. It certainly wasn't encouraging to hear him getting called out this summer. Then again, he opened his rookie season out of the rotation and finished it as a starter for a playoff team. And he happens to be a 7-footer who seems wholly capable of blocking shots and spacing the floor, which might be the single most impactful combo that a modern center can have, which absolutely I would say it is. And when you look at a guy in Kel'el Ware, who's one of the biggest parts of this trade package, in 22 minutes per game last year, he put up 9.3 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1 assist, and also blocked a shot per game. He's a good athlete. He can hit the three. He's getting better with shooting as time goes on as well, which is important to note. And he's going to continue to improve at this NBA level. He's still young. He's 21 years old. And there really is a very, very, very big ceiling, or very, very high ceiling, I should say, for Kel'el Ware. So when you consider something like this, he would have to definitely be a part of this trade. And as Buckley continued, Ware looks like a legitimate building block, and Jaime Jaquez would be considered such as recently as last summer. And Tyler Hero just booked his first All-Star season at 25 years old. Add the draft picks here, and that feels like enough for the Heat to at least entertain their dreams of adding Antetokounmpo to the team, whose resume features a couple of MVP awards and a Defensive Player of the Year award, with obviously that Finals MVP as well. Nobody is Giannis. The man put up 30 points per game last year, 12 rebounds, 6.5 assists, blocked a shot, got a steal, shot 60% from the field. Giannis is absolutely unbelievable. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA, and he's one of the best players in the NBA. As far as two-way players go, Giannis is probably the best one in basketball. I mean, he is a dominant offensive force who has been completely unstoppable the entire decade thus far. And, I mean, he's been unstoppable for the last really 8 years at this point now. Giannis has continued to get better and better and has blossomed into one of the long-standing best players in the NBA. But with where things stand for the Milwaukee Bucks right now, they are definitely struggling to make things work for them when it comes down to all these just failed attempts to recreate a championship team after winning the NBA Finals in 2021. It feels like this team is on their last legs and Giannis is ready to pull the plug. And if that is going to happen, it's going to happen very, very soon. Now, Tyler Hero is the big piece that hurts to lose here. I mean, he put up 24 points per game last year, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 37% from 3, and 47% from the field. But at the end of the day, if you have to give him up for Giannis, it's one of those situations where it's like, all right, well, obviously it's going to suck, but you're not getting Giannis for pennies on the dollar, so this is going to be a very costly trade, and Tyler Hero is likely going to be implicated in this deal as a star for the Milwaukee Bucks to continue to build off of or continue to trade with their situation with their draft picks being so abysmal. Now, Jaime Jaquez Jr. has struggled mightily after last season, but he did still put up 8.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. His shooting numbers went down. Basically, all of Jaquez's numbers went down from the year prior, but he gets a fresh start, which could be helpful for him going forwards. Now, we look at the Heat's depth chart, and obviously, if this trade happened, it would thin it out a whole lot. You do have enough big men now as Bobby Portis comes in as another big man. Also, Nikola Jovic is still there. You still have Norman Powell. You still have Andrew Wiggins. At that point, Davion Mitchell becomes the starting point guard, and he's not exactly a playmaking guard, so you would likely have to end up moving Andrew Wiggins for some sort of point guard who can really play that position with confidence. And then you go forwards with Davion Mitchell at the 2 and Powell at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and Bam at the 5. You then have Bobby Portis coming off your bench. You have Giannis and Bam, so your center position's mostly covered there as well. Jovic can obviously also play the center in stretches as well, but it becomes a little bit less of a necessity, which is good because Jovic is more of a power forward if you ask me. You still do have a few other nice pieces. Kasparas Giacochonis all of a sudden becomes a lot more important. Drew Smith starts to get real rotational minutes as well. Simone Fontecchio gets a chance to bounce back. Obviously, be thinning out the roster a ton, but at the end of the day, this is a trade that would likely happen in season at this point, or basically in season with where we are in the offseason. So if that were to happen, it becomes a situation where it would be a very interesting move going forwards. Giannis is obviously dominant. In the playoffs, since they won the NBA Finals, he's put up 30 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. The man is absolutely unstoppable in the playoffs and just whenever shooting 55% from the field. Obviously, the past couple of runs have been a lot less inspiring, but at the same time, the Bucks have also gotten significantly worse since winning the NBA Finals, and Giannis has not. So we also have to be aware of that. Tyler Hero, he hasn't been the best playoff basketball player in a while. The last 2 years, he's been better in those single series, but there is still a little bit to be left to be desired, specifically when it comes to the three-point shooting. So I think we should factor that in when making this Giannis trade because we understand that he hasn't performed in the playoffs yet. Given he's young, he could obviously turn that around, likely will. And then Jaime Jaquez Jr., what we saw was a guy who came out in his rookie year and put up 12 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. I mean, things looked good for me. He was getting a steal per game. He was shooting 32% from 3, which was where he needed to fix. All of his numbers went down in the following year. He played less minutes. His points went down. His rebounding went up. But outside of that, everything really went down. We saw the efficiency drop. We basically saw him just take a turn for the worst. Not the worst, but take a turn for the worst. And since then, a change of scenery would help him as well. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I'll catch you later.